First of all, the technology itself is not a strategy. You should be experimenting and getting your team on ChatGPT and starting to use these AI applications. Right. But without a plan, what is it that you want your team to do?
It is funny, us as entrepreneurs, how messy we can make a process or just our business in general. And then it's like, how do you get out of that?
Life's a journey. I view myself, I'm just a piece of clay. I'm just trying to keep formatting and working and trying to become the best version of myself that I can.
I'm curious because you're talking to so many different businesses and business owners of all different sizes. What is the biggest mistake you see across the board amongst many different size businesses as they try to scale, like from the solopreneur all the way up? Like, do people make the similar mistakes?
Yeah, over and over again. First of all, the technology itself is not a strategy. You should be experimenting and getting your team on ChatGPT and starting to use these AI applications. Right. But without a plan, what is it that you want your team to do? What's your use case? Are you trying to increase productivity? Are you trying to improve your sales motion? Are you trying to improve your go-to-market? Are you trying to come up with new products? Don't try and boil the ocean. Come up with a few good use cases that even without AI, this would be things that you would talk about as a business executive anyway, because they're impacting your business. And then ask yourself, if I were to apply AI strategically to this problem, what would that look like? That's the best place to start. Second, you got to get the data right. At the end of the day, yes, we talk about AI, it is incredibly powerful and it can blow your mind away, but it's still just software, it's a machine. And then the machine is going to work with the data that we put in and then spit it out at light speed. So if you're putting in bad data and you haven't taken time to clean up your data, you're going to get a lot of crap out. And if you're going to start making major business decisions, economic decisions based upon something that AI tells you to do, and you start with bad data and then you don't validate what it's telling you, you just blindly follow it, well, shame on you, because you're going to be upside down in a hurry. But I'd say those are probably the two biggest areas. There's a lack of a plan and not getting the data right.
And I love what you said about putting the technology first, because it's like a theme that I've seen just in general with businesses is a new technology will come out and it's like, we're going to get this thing and then we're going to figure out we're going to use this thing to just do something, right? Somebody I know just built a software with AI and they were struggling at the beginning to figure out how to do this. So then they just kind of broke it down to first principles. They built it on Airtable. They had a bunch of VAs. They kind of had this process. They laid it out. They said, okay, the process works now. Now let's use AI for each component. And then they built something really cool out of it because they started with the whole idea of let's get the process down to accomplish the goal.
Exactly. I mean, you got to have the plan first. Otherwise it can go awry. And then the second thing is, sure, AI and other types of technology can help us be more productive and help us scale. That does not mean, though, that you don't need people. And I think a big mistake that CEOs and CFOs make, well, we just bought all this technology to scale so we can cut headcount. Who do you think is going to run the systems? Who's going to manage them and make sure they're staying up to date? And the vendors keep adding functionality and capabilities and you need governance. But this happens all the time. Or if they do hire people, they keep it really single-threaded. They have one person at $1 billion company running a tech stack. What if this person goes on vacation or they leave or they get sick? There's mission-critical failures in your revenue engine, and it happens all the time. So it's quite amazing, actually, that people make short-sighted decisions. And
well, then you just bring in the monkeys and have them push the buttons.
We don't need AI for us to make poor decisions. We can make them anyway. So it's just sometimes you got to take a step back and wonder.
It is funny, us as entrepreneurs, how messy we can make a process or just our business in general. And then it's like, how do you get out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think as entrepreneurs, we're salespeople, we're evangelizers, we're creative artists, we're the persona, the charisma. To sit down and stop and, no, A has to go before B before we got C.
That's boring.
Not wired that way. We don't think that way. Why can't we just play with everything all at once? Just get it in there and go.
Yeah.
And then we look at our team in stupefied amazement that they're not keeping up. Why not? And then they're looking at us oh, great, here comes another crazy idea that we're going to have to go implement. So it's, we're talking past each other.
Yeah. Yep. How do you slow it down and become relatable to the people that are around you?
Well, I mean, I think if you're asking me as an executive versus, what we do with AI, for me, it's a lot of years of self-reflection, practice, good business coaches, joining a few CEO groups and learning to reprogram myself and coming to the understanding that which is really hard for us as entrepreneurs, that if we want to scale, we got to get out of our own way because we are the problem. We are the bottleneck. And that's not easy for most of us to accept, frankly. We think everybody else is the problem.
It's the dichotomy of being type A and then realizing, holy shit, I'm a complete...
Right. As they say, right, if you're an AA or whatever, like admitting that you have a problem is the first step. So I think, in running a business, if you can admit that you're actually the problem in running a business, you're well on your way. So internally, that's how I've approached it. And look, it's a life's a journey. I view myself, I'm just a piece of clay. I'm just trying to keep formatting and working and trying to become the best version of myself that I can and be the best leader and manager and human being I can. For our clients, it's always about change, and technology is such a big disruptor, and it's hard, if not impossible, to force change on people, particularly employees. When you have privy information when you're in a boardroom that your employees don't see, and you can make these strategic decisions because you have all the data, you understand all the moving parts, and at your level, it makes a ton of sense. And you start going down a couple of levels, it doesn't make sense, right? Because you're not explaining it in ways that it makes sense to the employee, in ways that's going to benefit them directly. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. It does not matter how great your idea is as CEO if your employees don't understand it and won't implement it. So, what we do with our clients then is help them develop solid communication plans and change management plans that bring their vision to practical reality. We spend a lot of time working at the employee level in addition to the executive level, empowering the managers, giving them practical things, lining up the objectives so that everything that they're doing in the boardroom goes down to the division level, goes down to the employee level, and back up again.
I love that total feedback loop.